Hey YouTube, what's up? Old School NYC Gamer here, and today's a special video here, ladies and gentlemen. This goes out to all the UK gamers out there, retro and new gen. The reason why I'm calling you out is about a computer that came out in the UK in the early 1980s, and it's honestly really grown quite a bit on me as of late. After seeing quite a few videos on the computer and the games themselves, it was about time I decided to do one of those games from my perspective. And now that computer, what I'm talking about is the ZX Spectrum, as you can see right there. I'm going to leave all that information down there because there's way too much of it to talk about. But basically, you know, for it having a 10-year lifespan and having 8 different models, if I'm not mistaken, that's pretty freaking good. And it also being the fact that it was one of the first computers that was priced at £100, which is not too shabby itself. Now, the reason why I'm talking more about this is, you know, every system does have a game that is defined for, like Super Mario Brothers with the Nintendo Entertainment System, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis Mega Drive, and even Space Invaders for the Atari 2600. But in my opinion, I'm going to show you one of the games to me that defines the Spectrum. Okay, so let me just pull that up. And now, before I even get into it, due to the PAL format, you necessarily can't even play the Spectrum in America unless you have a step-down converter or a region-free TV and all this other stuff, which I feel is, in a way, kind of a pain in the butt. But if you're serious about collecting for it, you know, go for it. But thanks to the Canoe and even this one emulator here, I know people will start groaning about this. This is the Spectacular 7.5. And I'm going to pull this up and show you the game that I'm talking about. Of course, you get the startup screen here for the Spectrum when you turn it on, the 48 Basic. Come on, focus. Sorry about that, people, that it's not coming to focus. It should. There you go. Now, the game I'm specifically talking about, if I could pull it up, is Jetpack, as you can see right there. Now, Jetpack itself was developed by Tim and Chris Stamper and was published by Ultimate Play the Game. And it was released for the ZX Spectrum in 1983 and also ported over to the Commodore VIC-20 in 1983 as well. Later on for the BBC Micro in 1984. Now, basically, this is your premise shooter, and it's very self-explanatory, and I'll walk you through it as we're going through the game. So let me just zoom in a little bit on this so you can see it a little better. I do apologize for my crappy camera work here, because I want to get it just in frame just right and do this on one take and not take forever to do it. Okay, so let's start it up here. Now, of course, you have your options with player 1, player 2, keyboard, and the Kempson joystick. And basically, a lot of these games are better if you have the Kempson joystick. But since I don't have that, I wired up my Gamepad Pro over to the computer and wired it for the Kempson joystick. So let's do that right over there, and let's check out the game. Now, the premise here is in every 4 stages, you have to build your ship on the very first stage. And after that, you got to basically collect fuel to fill up your ship to get home. Now, I don't know if you can see it too well with the purple, but the fuel tanks right there are purple. And you have to fill that all the way up to fly home, or to fly out of that stage. This is a very, very tricky game because you got to watch what you're doing. And the bad guys can basically pop out of nowhere, so you constantly have to be shooting. Because of course, if you can't tell, you really got to watch what you're doing, because you can just fly from out of one screen to the other. So the enemies will just be flying everywhere, so you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. Even though right there, I basically just died. The hit detection itself, people, is actually very responsive and very good. The controls are very sharp. It's a very good game. At one point, I kept playing this, I think, for almost a month when I got this on my Canoe. Now, of course, you see right there, once you get it all fueled up, it's going to be flashing, so you just got to get right on that, and you fly right out of there. And of course, every stage is going to have different enemies, so it's definitely really different compared to what you're going to see. You're not going to see the same enemies twice unless you really gotten far in this game. And for me, I might not get that far. But of course, your first stage is a rocket ship. And when I get to the 5th stage, it's a space shuttle. So I don't know what happens after the space shuttle. So if anybody who's played this game better than me and quite better than that, please let me know what other ships are available on this game. Of course, it's easier to fly around than walk around, because if you do that, there's a quick way the enemies will catch up to you. Definitely make sure you fly over the ship to drop your fuel supply. Of course, you might have a bit of slowdown with the stage. I've noticed that. Now, of course, here you have some, I don't know, birds or little planes kind of thing. Like I said, the developers definitely did make some weird enemies to fight against here. And I noticed they also self-destruct on some kind of impact. So they just keep respawning. So all you can really do here is just shoot the hell out of them. Definitely not a bad side-scrolling shooter here, people, even though it's really just one screen, not really a side-scroller. I've noticed, honestly, this to be one of the easier stages within the game, besides it being, you know, the first stage. Now, of course, here, people, this is the space shuttle stage I was talking about. And now you're going to have some UFOs chasing you around. And they're definitely very relentless. As you see, I just died right there. And, of course, just like in the last stage, the little planes do self-destruct, hit upon contact. So you basically just got to just fire like crazy. Well, as you can see right there where the fuel is split in half, like I said, you could basically go in one screen to the other, drop it off just like that. Alright people, I believe I'm just going to cut this video short, so you basically get the premise of Jetpack. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to comment, and to all my new subscribers, thanks a lot for checking it out, everybody. Have a great day, and take care. Cheers.